What's up, videographers? In this video, we're going to talk about how to make internet money as a creative, as a filmmaker. And this is the exact same way that we collected over 7 figures in our creative agency before I personally turned 27. My name is Rob Pierluisi Espedia, and I make these videos because I wish that there were channels like this, that there were videos and resources like this back when I got in the game a few years ago. So why would you potentially want to watch this video? Well, like I shared earlier, we've collected over 7 figures in our creative agency through hundreds of clients before I turned 27 years old. And through those hundreds of clients, we've been able to have a vast array of experience working with different niches, different types of industries, everything from local brick and mortar businesses to automotive businesses, working with car brands, doing a lot of car commercials, online businesses, agencies, PR companies, Insta famous coaches. So some people that you may not have heard of, some people that you may have heard of, like potentially Think Media or Adobe. Maybe those are some of the names that you've heard of, and we've been able to work with them through our agency. Now, throughout all that time, over the last 2 years, we've actually been able to share our teachings and our findings and our systems and our strategies through our video consultancy. We've actually had hundreds of one-on-one mentees. Myself and my brother personally have mentored hundreds of videographers one-on-one, and we've had thousands of paying members across our digital products, systems, installs, all those types of things. And I'm sharing with you in this video that we've pioneered a new model. And even though my brother and myself have been very vocal about how we do these types of things within our communities and within certain groups, a lot of people still don't know about this. And that's why I'm sharing this publicly with you today. So this is for you if you are a beginner or a novice. So maybe you've been doing this for some time now, you've been in the video space, you just started. So this is for you if you are a beginner or a novice. So maybe you just picked up your first camera, you've been considering doing this as a side hustle, and you don't know exactly which model to take. Maybe you want to kind of figure out what kind of business you want to have before you start investing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in gear. Smart decision, by the way. Maybe you are an intermediate. Maybe you've been doing this for 6 months, 12 months, a year, and maybe you're about to go full time. Maybe you're just trying to scale up your side hustle, and you're looking for a system, some concrete, solid things that you can follow that you know work. Or maybe you're advanced. This is for you if you're advanced as well and experienced. Maybe you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, and you're just tired of the in-person shoots. Maybe you are already making 6 figures per year or multiple 6 figures per year, but you are just tired of doing the in-person shoots, and you don't want to just bust out tripods and Ronins and key lights all the way up until 50s and 60s years old. Maybe you want to make high-ticket money from home. You want to be able to run a full-time company and make a good full-time income, multiple 6 figures from the comfort of your home. Maybe you're a family man or woman and you want to be able to spend more time with your family at home or provide more for them. This video is for you. Maybe you're just looking for a little bit more consistency. Here's the deal. I love the video space. I love the gift that we get to share with clients when we're able to help them share their message on social media, just through video and through media. And living the life of a videographer full time is very enriching. And by that I mean it gives you great experiences, right? Like in our time, we've been able to travel to different cool places, meet really, really cool business owners. But if there's one thing that is for certain, and this goes across with all video business owners that I've met, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, is that they lack consistency, and not in revenue, and I just mean like in certain places of life, specifically with like routines. It's really hard when you are like the main shooter, or at least the main brains, the main director, to live a life of consistency when you have paid gigs on different days and times of the year. Maybe one client is paying you a good chunk of money and they require you to film on Sunday mornings. Maybe you have another client and they need you to film on Thursday evenings. When you are a videographer that you have to do in-person shoots, there's really no way around that. You kind of have to be at a certain place at a certain time. And so if you are looking for more consistency in your routine, being able to have different products and offers where you don't have to do that, then this is for you. And last but certainly not least, if you feel this right here, if this picture is talking to you and you have that mid-back tightness every single time you bust out a camera or you bust out your Ronin and you're filming and you're shooting, or you're about to film an event and you just know that the day is going to drag on, this is for you. Because if you take action on what I'm going to share with you here, This does not have to be you ever again, and I'm grateful to say I haven't had Ronan back in a very, very, very long time. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn the best model for solo videographers, or if you are a couple, maybe you're a husband, wife, you have a small team, maybe you're business partners with your best friends, whatever it is. Super cool. Whether you are solo or a small team, I'm going to show you how you don't have to have a big bloated team like we did. We scaled to 15 full-time people, all kinds of different roles, how you can get the same results without having to do that. How to transition from your current in-person shoots. So maybe you're currently right now, all of your money is coming from doing work in person. We're going to show you how to transition from that so you can take advantage of this virtual opportunity. We're going to show you how to acquire virtual clients. So this is kind of a little play on word because I'm going to show you how to acquire virtual clients. But first, we actually learned how to acquire clients virtually. Those are two different things. Both of them are awesome. We're going to go over both of them in this video. We're going to talk about fulfilling on virtual clients. So how to not just click to close, do everything online, but actually fulfill on all the work, and therefore you can do it from the comfort of your home or while you're traveling or whatever. And we're going to talk about how to scale your operation. So whether it's your first virtual gig or your first couple $1,000s or your first retainer, all the way to $20,000 months. And if you want, you can even scale it to $20,000 weeks. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll show you how you can get your hands on actual in-field footage of myself, my brother, doing this actual virtual production. You can actually see how we interact with clients. You can see how we help clients set things up. So it's actual in-field footage. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video. Now I'm going to share with you guys the actual nuts and bolts and meats and potato as to how to make all these things happen. But it all started somewhere, and I want to share with you how it started. So I started my video journey. This is me and my brother and our crew that we originally started with full-time 6 years ago. This was back in 2019, and I had just quit my full-time job selling new construction residential real estate. I was selling hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars of real estate every single month as a 21-year-old. And I said, you know what would be better than to make six figures in a corporate job is to have a life making videos and exchanging my time for money. And I just thought that was going to be a great decision, a great thing. And I say this with a little satire, but the truth is I am so grateful that I made a decision. There's not a day that goes by that I regret that. And separate from the message that I'm going to share with you in this video, if you feel like you have, in the eyes of most people, have it figured out, you have a good job or you have stability, and you want to pursue your dreams, you want to have your own company, you want to do your own creative thing, not that you need my permission, but you should definitely give yourself permission to do that because you won't regret it either. You want to go about it the right way, you want to have a plan, you want to get the right resources. That's why I'm making videos like this. But go ahead and do it, man. So we started in 2019. And if you remember, if you've been around for a few years, if you had your eyes open and you had social media, then you know what happened in 2020, essentially COVID, and the whole world shut down. And what happened when the whole world shut down was that we had already had over 5 figures in contracted work. So we had clients who were going to hire us again. We had clients who were going to make another payment, et cetera, et cetera. And overnight, because of COVID, the 5 figures in contracted work when I had just finished quitting my job turned to absolute zero, nada, no work whatsoever, no clients, no nothing. And even though there is a brighter side to this story that I'm going to share, this was really, really rough, not just for myself, but for a lot of video creatives. Maybe you yourself were a videographer, you remember what that time was like. And there's one thing that I want you to take away from this as well, is that if something like that happened that can disrupt the entire world and add massive risk to your business, if it can happen once, it can happen again. And maybe the first time you were not as prepared, maybe this time you can be more prepared by implementing this model and de-riskifying, if that's a word, your video business. And here is an actual historical, chronological, federally approved image of the world shutting down and our crew suiting up in order to make sure that we can still make videos while that is happening. So there's a transitioning period, like we shared, right? Things were tough, but we learned about 2 things in specifically. The first one was digital marketing. So this is how to turn strangers into clients from click to close. So all the way from a complete stranger on social media all the way to a paying client. I'm not talking about referrals. I'm not talking about networking meetings. I'm not talking about going to coffee shops. I'm not talking about having coffee meetings and lunch meetings and all these things. I'm talking about online, on social media, and getting money. Now, that one thing massively changed our business. I wish I learned it sooner, but there was something that was just as equally awesome, if not more awesome. And that's what we call digital delivery or virtual fulfillment. You can pick whichever one has a nicer ring to it that you like personally. And so if you take a look here, this is actually a screenshot of myself and my brother helping a client film virtually. They have their own camera here, they have the key light here, as you can see, and they're all mic'd up and they film, and we're watching the whole thing and we're making sure that they say the right things. If they messed up, hey, let's try that again. If they did good, let's go ahead and encourage them and just be there throughout the whole process. And so doing this was huge for our business. You can probably guess why, but it had a lot of benefits. Everything from opening up the marketplace and allowing us to, you know, even if like the world shut down again, continue operating and making money. Now, like I said, there was a transition. We were originally doing in-person shoots, and because of learning digital marketing, it brought us new business. It brought us a ton new business. And so much so that we kept growing, we kept buying gear, we kept going to different places. We almost kind of like, you know, owned the little town that we were in Colorado Springs at the time. And, you know, as far as video production companies were known, you know, people knew about us because they saw us a little bit. And we even had clients from different cities and even from different states. And they would either come, they would fly us out, they would fly out our crew, or sometimes they would come to our own studio. So we actually grew this all the way up until we had our own studio. So this clip right here is actually from our own studio. This one, same here as well. And we were able to leave our gear here and kind of set up clients. It was really awesome. And through this, through just the power of digital marketing, getting clients online, we grew our not our virtual, but our traditional video production company past $300,000 per year. It was awesome. We were making good money, and we were staying busy, and it felt like finally things were actually working out. It actually felt like we were living the dream. It felt like we were doing our own thing. And like I said, we were doing car commercials and even doing events and stuff like that with Santa Claus. And even though that this was awesome, I knew that I wanted to go all in on virtual services and be able to take advantage of all the benefits that came from that. So there was a little bit of a transformation, even though we had already tasted the fruits and we already had some virtual clients because of 2020 and 2021. We eventually wanted to go all in on that. And it was a process that took me so long, and I'm probably going to make more videos to talk about these types of things, but I'm trying to collapse time here for you guys and share with you the journey, and hopefully it doesn't take you as long to land to this conclusion as it did us. So again, the transformation, we were doing in-person shoots, we were doing car commercials. You can see here, this was a sick sunset on the Colorado weather, and we were strapped up in the new cars, filming the new cars. It was actually a pretty cool gig. Every single car that we were in was brand spanking new. And we were transforming our business. We have a saying, you know, every single client you have is an opportunity to transform your business. And so we were transforming our business, and we were doing studio builds as well. So I would do studio builds for clients. That way they can kind of film themselves, or they can get somebody else to help film, and I could manage everything virtually. And of course, you know, we had to drink our own Kool-Aid. I'm a big believer. If you're trying to sell something, you must be a user of it as well. You must be a case study. And so we had to make sure that we had a sick studio set up as well. You know, maybe you appreciate the lights in mine currently. This was my previous office. And through that, we started getting bigger name clients, like some of those Insta-famous coaches. Some of you may know, some you don't, with some of the bigger names being Think Media that we've worked with. And then last year in 2024, Adobe. This is my brother, and his face is all over the Adobe website. Now, fast forward to today, all of our clients are virtual. This is actually a screenshot that you can see from February 4th, 2025. So it's still February as I'm filming this video. And so fast forward to today, we're actually still doing virtual shoots, and it's super high leverage. It's very high ticket. It's a very great offering for people, and it's working out really good. We're working from the comfort of our own home. So I'm working from home. The same place that I did this video here is where I'm filming this one right here. Able to travel and make money at the same time. Now, I've been paid to travel for shoots, and we've been able to bring our crew, and I've been brought on different shoots, and that's awesome and that's fun. But what's really fun is you being able to know that you don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time if you go to a new place. So much so where this is actually a picture from Medellin, Colombia that I was in last year. We stayed here for about 2 weeks testing it out as a place that we're potentially going to live in, and because we have a virtual video production company. And being able to just work here and actually make money, it was awesome. Just to share with you guys, because you're watching this video, most people wouldn't care about this or they would find this boring. But while we were on vacation, like in the airport, a couple days in on vacation, a couple weeks in on vacation, we were actually making money. The first week we were in Medellin, Colombia, we did like a $20,000 week. So you can actually make money while you travel. And so if you're a solo traveler, or if you want to, you know, maybe provide experiences for your family, you bring your laptop with you and you can actually print money while you're there working. It's an awesome benefit and experience. So no gear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of gear, right? Like back behind me here is a Sony camera. I got a Sony camera here. We got mics and lights, and we got all this kind of stuff. And it's awesome, but how cool is it if you can grow a multi-six-figure or seven-figure video business without needing all of the gear? There's just so much risk that's associated with that, with the insurance and with it getting damaged or wet or broken or anything, a client tipping it over, as how we know, all those types of things. So there's less risk overall. It really is just less risky, which increases profits as well, which means you don't have to drive, you don't have like miles, you don't have coffee or breakfast you have to buy for the client, you don't have to rush in between shoots and a Zoom meeting. And so it's more profits because of that. And again, the work pays for the vacation. You can actually travel, take your family to different places, visit new places, meet new people, and you can make money from your computer. And so that's kind of the story. Hopefully that was interesting to you, because now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts as to how you can actually make this happen for yourself. So we're going to go over a few things. The first one is actual client acquisition for this virtual model. So there's a couple things that we're going to go over. The first one is lead gen. Now there's a bunch of different ways to get clients, especially when there's getting clients online. There's so many things you can do. You can run ads, you can you can do outreach, you can make content, you can get affiliates, you can do all kinds of stuff. What I would suggest for anybody getting started with trying to get clients online is to create content. I'm going to draw this here with this color for you guys. Create content and have conversations. Create content and have conversations. And so this could be on Facebook. Maybe you have a Facebook profile and you're going to different groups. It could be local business groups, or it could be groups with like your target market niche. Like if you're going after real estate agents and you know that you want to sell video services, maybe going into a group that's called YouTube videos for real estate agents, or YouTube videos for chiropractors if you're going after chiropractors, Instagram reels for lawyers, whatever it is. You can actually go into Facebook groups and find your target market, add those people as friends, and grow your list that way. You can do it on IG as well, on Instagram. You can post content, you can message people, reach out to people. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can post content, reach out to people, etc., etc. Of course, you can get into ads and all those types of things. I have a belief that I don't think you should run ads until you're already doing about $20,000 per month. Some people may disagree. I've had most people who didn't listen to that advice come back and install some other client acquisition system. This is where I would start. And so just to give you just some numbers, just some things to kind of go at it, you'll learn the more that you do, and I'm going to make more videos that talk about this specifically. I've already made more videos that talk about this specifically. But essentially what you're aiming for, if you're looking for like some actual numbers, is anywhere between 50 to 100 DMs per day. Okay, this can take you as little as like 2 hours. And you want to have some kind of follow-up cadence. I actually can't believe I'm going to go deep into this. But you want to have a follow-up cadence. And essentially with your follow-up cadence is you follow up with all of your leads every 7 to 10 days. Anytime you offer somebody value or they ask for a resource or a free video, you follow up with them 24 to 48 hours. You want to make sure that you leverage things like long-form content. And this long-form content, it could be public or private. So it can be public YouTube videos or private videos on landing pages. And if you do this consistently 2 hours a day, then it's very unreasonable for you to not have 5 to 10 appointments per week virtually if you're running that type of model, 1 to 3 deals closed. But we personally do this using the undercover funnel system, which I'm going to go over here in a little bit as well. So this is the lead gen. You need to be able to get a lot of leads. So finding them online, connecting with them, starting conversations, and making awesome content that is valuable for those people. That is the easiest way, lowest barrier of entry to start before you start doing things like running ads, you running YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, any of those things, or trying any crazy marketing types of stuff. Okay, next let's talk about sales and closing. So if you're gonna get leads virtually, it's probably a cool thing to close them and collect money virtually. So there's a few ways to do that. The first one is virtual calls, obviously. You don't have to show up in person. You don't have to go to an office. This can be done through Zoom. I do recommend Zoom over like traditional phone calls. A phone call is more convenient, but with Zoom, you can actually see somebody face to face. You can see their reactions. You can see their things and talk to them. Another thing that you can do is one-to-many closing. So this is things like doing presentations, doing webinars. It could be virtual. It could be in person. This isn't anything new under the sun. This is something that's been done a long time, but maybe you as a video creative didn't think about doing this. There's so many cool ways to do this. But one-to-many closings, so doing presentations in front of a bunch of people. And then my absolute favorite, which is something that I still do to this day, is DM closing. So we use the Undercover Funnel system. It's our own proprietary system for closing deals in the DMs, in emails, in SMS, and essentially you'll be able to collect four-figure payments without sales calls. So this is what we do. So all three of these things are virtual, and these are the systems that we use to close clients online. So you either get them on a call, you close them on the presentation, or you close them in the DM, or maybe even a combination of these three, right? Now, to share with you some expectations, as we go about this and as we've been teaching this for a long time, we found that the number one thing holding back a video entrepreneur from implementing this model or implementing this type of services is actually their mindset. For some reason or not, they feel like they are good enough for it or not good enough for it, or like they've never done it, so they never want to do it. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, you got to try it first. You got to do it first. But it's their mindset, right? So I just want you to know that as soon as you want to start implementing this model, you can absolutely implement this model. And the reason I say that is because if clients ever ask, which they don't, but if they ever ask you like, hey, why are we doing this virtually? Is there a way that we can do this in person? And you're like, hey, this is just the way we do things. And I can't tell you how many times just saying this is just the way we do things has been good enough for the client. And if it's good enough for the client, it's definitely good enough for me. All right. Next, let's talk about fulfillment. So how do you fulfill and deliver on these virtual offers? So let's go about it. So the first thing is pre-production. So obviously some of these videos that we're talking about are like talking head videos, marketing campaigns, things like that. So there's going to be scripts involved, right? Yes, there can be shot lists, but there's going to be scripts involved. So the very first thing that we're going to make sure that we get done is our scripts. Now, sometimes clients can provide their own scripts. Sometimes they have writers. For a lot of our clients, we actually do all of these things for them. So complete done for you service. And I'll share with you the system that we do in order to get really good scripts. Now, there's a lot of trainings out there and a lot of things that you can do to leverage AI. I'll just personally share the one that we do that works really, really well for us. You can do whatever you want to do. You can go ahead and just type up ChatGPT and ask it to come up with a few video ideas. But in our experience, this has given us the best results. So the first thing that we do is we don't start with video ideas. We don't start with any of that stuff. We start with the customer in mind, with the client in mind. So the very first thing that we do is something that we call a niche document or a client profile, a client avatar. All it is, in short, is just getting super clear about who we're making these videos for. Who are we trying to attract? So a niche document essentially just strategic questionnaire that answers questions. Your clients should answer them for you on the behalf of things like, who is it that we're trying to target? What are their pain points? What have they tried in the past? What have they failed? Who are they angry at? What are they afraid of? What do they wish they happened? Who keeps failing them? All of those different types of things. And essentially what we do is you can type those up or document that, or you can use AI like a Fathom recorder or something like that to actually document your client giving you the answer for all those things, and then plugging that information into AI or ChatGPT and get it to organize and expand on it. So you want to dump the information on there first. Here's the person who we're making videos for. Here's exactly the type of people we want to attract. The niche document, the client. That's where it starts. Then afterwards, we organize and expand on that information. After we organize and expand on the information, the very next thing that we do is we feed it assets. Okay, we don't just say immediately then go ahead and give me video ideas and all that stuff. We feed it assets. So these assets could be actual like videos that the client has already made in the past. Maybe it's like video sales letters or brand message videos, or they just went live. Like any type of video that they have with their voice and their message and the way they've been doing things. Awesome. Document that, plug that in. It could be emails. It could be social media posts that they've made. It could be different types of things like that. And so you want to grab their voice, the things that they've already written, the things that they already like, and you want to feed that in. So first, here's who we're trying to attract. Hey, this is the voice of the person that we're trying to sound like. And then after we do that, then we want to also prompt it with personal assets. So we first prompted with a bunch of client assets, whatever they have, sales calls, VSLs, long form videos, emails, written stuff, all that we feed it. And then we also prompted with our own personal stuff. So for example, as an agency, we have like the top 100 performing hooks that work really well on social media. We have email sequences that we've used for clients that work really well. We use social media promotion sequences like a 7 to 10 day post sequence. All of these things that we've done for our business or other clients, we can then feed our personal templates, our personal things into this bot that is being trained with all of these things. And then after it receives all that information, then we ask for ideas for dream result. So for example, if we want to make videos to help the client get more clients or get more sales, well, then we need to get ideas that actually generate that specific result. And once we get the ideas, we can also feed it hooks. So we know exactly how the videos start. And then afterwards, we can do call to actions and all that good stuff. That's how you pretty much do the pre-production process. So using AI took us a long time to figure this out, guys, and hopefully this is valuable for you. It's a multi-step process. You don't just prompt GPT and ask it for random questions for a random niche. That could work for you, but if you train it and if you feed it properly, it can give you some really good stuff. Okay, next let's talk about the actual production. So I called in parentheses like on site, but really it's like virtual. Like, hey, we're doing this still together live, but you're not actually on site. The virtual production. And this is almost just identical as if you were doing things in person, right? The difference is like it's not your gear, you're not setting things up, you're not taking things down. It's a lot less time on your end. But all the things that you would normally do if you're a good videographer, if you like to help your clients, everything from like encouraging clients, giving good energy, helping them with retakes, making sure they say their lines, all of these things. You're essentially, babysitting the whole shoot, and you're just making sure that everything goes smoothly. So if you know how to do an in-person shoot, especially after you've seen some footage of a virtual shoot, you'll be able to do this. It's actually easier than being in person. That's the reason why we prefer it. All right, post-production. Let's talk about how to post-production with this. So overview essentially is, normally with an in-person shoot, what do? You have your SD card and you plug it into the computer and you upload it and all that type of stuff. Maybe you have editors, you upload to the editors. We personally have systems and believe in delegating your edits and being able to make 70 to 90% profit margins on those edits. But here's how you do the post-production. So first you start with, you can do whatever you like, but we use Google Drive. And so if you use different things like Dropbox or whatever, that works fine. And then you have a specific folder structure in order to organize everything. Everything from the raw footage, Cam A, Cam B, audio, B-roll, stock footage, whatever it is, like all the things that you need, assets, logos, whatever. You organize that inside of the Google Drive folder. Once you've organized that, then you need to use some type of project management tool in order to make this work. Please don't just use like spreadsheets, like you can make that work, but like use like a real project management tool. We specifically use Trello. We've been using it for years, but there's all kinds of things you can do. You can do Asana, you can do ClickUp, you can do Milanote, you can do, there's all kinds of tools that you money.com, you can do all kinds of things. But we personally like Trello and it's free to get started as well. So you can actually run a 6-figure business off of a free Trello account. Ask me how I know. So you can do Trello, and then from Trello, you essentially have a pipeline for each video. So instead of like doing revisions from like Google Drive links and just sending messages back and forth, each like Trello card, each video is its own thing, and you're essentially tracking the entire life of the video. So everything from like, hey, it's being edited, to like revisions, to final approve, to ready for posting, and then posting as well if you're doing all this type of stuff for your clients. So that's how you can do that. And then results-based services. So I kind of like sneak the posting into it, but results-based services are things that if you're a videographer and you're trying to make sure that you are successful and you help your clients be successful as well, and you're doing social media-based content, marketing campaigns, things like that, well, then you usually need to take on, unless you're working with a client that has all of these things already, which most of them don't, then you need to take on a few of these things, and you can charge money for them, but in order to make sure that the client is successful. So these results-based services are things like social media management, paid advertisement if that's something that you're into and you want to get into, or even like outreach, engaging on comments, messaging followers, doing all that type of stuff. This is more kind of like our style here, and this as well. And so these are like results-based services, results-based things that you can do to help out your clients. So this is how you deliver on this work. All right. Now, scaling. Let's talk about that. How do you scale this? So as you scale this, you yourself as the videographer, the video entrepreneur, you're going to always be the core CEO. You're going to be at the core of your business, but you will be the brain of your business, but you will need hands. You will need hands to help you do the work, to remove the tedious task and hours from your plate so you can continue doing the very, very important things. And so in order to scale, essentially what you need is two things. You need people and you need systems. If I was to share with you the order of operations that I believe is the best to go through this, is to actually work on systems and then get people. Unless you're working with somebody who has done both of these very, very quickly, and then they can help you implement both of these quickly. But normally, if you're figuring things out on your own, then hey, you got to get some better systems in, and then you can get some people. And another analogy that I like to use to kind of like explain this is like having a race car and a driver. They both have one job: to win the race, to finish the lap, to go fast, whatever it is. But they're two individual components. There's the person and there's the machine, there's the system. And so for everything that you're trying to scale, you got to understand how good are the people that you have in that machine, and how good is the machine in of itself, the components of it. Because you can have systems where you have a bad race car driver with a great driver. So for example, maybe you hire some really good help, but because your systems are not good, they actually don't want to stay. Like, why would they want to stay? Why would a great race car driver want to drive a really slow car? It could also be the other way around, where maybe because you have a great race car, you have great systems, you don't have the best driver, but you have an awesome race car, and any type of driver will go fast on that race car. Great. That's fantastic. The best case scenario is where you have a good race car and a good driver. You can imagine what happens there. But let's talk about the actual race car and the driver when it comes to two things that you need to scale. If you're going to scale, you need more clients, you need more revenue, you need more opportunity. So you need to do more lead gen and more sales. In short, what you need for this is more convos, so more conversations, so in the DMs. And what we do is we install a DMM to help us with this, so a direct message manager. So somebody whose full-time job is to help you manage your inbox. You can do this on your business, helping clients do this on, for their behalf. This is a phenomenal thing. But essentially, if you want to scale this, I know earlier I talked to you about doing this for 2 hours a day. You got to do more than that if you want to have more business, more conversation. So you scale that, and the person that you put in is a DMM, so a direct message manager. You got to have a good CRM in place, so like a client relationship manager, a really, really good CRM. We use a specific CRM called FlowChat for social media based things, and that's what we do here. So this is kind of like the chassis of the car. Also, lead sources. So if you just like say, okay, here, run my DMs and I'm going to post content, and the person doesn't know where to find the leads from, or who your client profile is, or you don't have any pocket in the internet where people know you more, well, that's going to be really hard then, regardless of the race car or the driver. So you need to have some lead sources, and you need to have some systems around content, meaning you can create good content very quickly or more as necessary, whether it's short form content, long form content. You need to create more content for yourself in order to scale your business as well. So these are some of the things that you need to do on the race car and the driver side for lead gen and sales. The race car driver is a direct message manager. They're going to scale conversations. They need a good CRM. They need lead sources. They need systems. They need content. If you give them those things, you're going to be very successful. Now, fulfillment is the same thing. You're going to need to do more deliverables. And in order to do more deliverables, you're going to need an editor or more editors, more than one potentially. Yes, you'll need, on the lead side, you have a CRM. On this side, you have a project manager system. And so this is kind of like the Trello board that I was telling you, or the Asana or ClickUp or whatever that you use. On top of that as well, they're going to need some good training and accountability, as well as QC, quality check, quality control, and eventually things into like pods. So like when we were growing our agency, like I said, at the peak we had 15 full-time team members. It's really hard to just manage a big chunk of people. It's good to have like pods, people under people under people under people. So that's something that you'll figure out. And then of course the same thing is for results-based services. So for example, social media management, like you'll probably have a full-time social media manager, somebody to help you out with all that type of stuff. A full-time project manager who makes sure that the videos get done properly. Maybe a media buyer if you're into ads and stuff like that. That could work. But this is how you do the scaling. So you scale up the people, you scale up the systems, you scale up the race car, you scale up the driver. Cool? All right. So what to do next? So you've been watching this video for a while. Hopefully you've been learning a few things. At this moment in time, this is you, and you have one of two options. Option number one is you can either watch another video after this, or you can kind of continue staying with the old model, and tomorrow you have an in-person shoot, or even worse, you have no shoots, and you don't know exactly kind of which direction you're going to go. And this is going to be the thing that's going to take you the most amount of time. I'm going to be super transparent. It actually took us 4 years to figure all this stuff out. We've been doing virtual shoots for a few years now. Even when we weren't doing them as much, through digital marketing, we were able to scale our company, learn a lot of stuff, make some good money. But it took us 4 years to like finally understand the power of these virtual services, how to be really, really good at these virtual services, how to teach this, how to help with clients, and all that type of stuff. And so that's option one. You can just take this video, kind of go try to figure out, and ideally in less than 4 years, it took us 4 years, but in less than 4 years, you figure this out. Or option number two is we can collapse time and skyrocket results, and essentially you can download all of the trials, the errors, the lessons, the systems, everything that we have without the pain that we had to go through, and you can learn this in 4 weeks. Because you are watching this video, somewhere around here there's going to be a link, and I want to invite you. We have this thing called the virtual video producer system, right? And we've been able to take 4 years of our experience, 4 years of pain, trials, tribulations, and we've been able to help with an implementation process where you can do all of those things, learn how to get virtual clients, how to fulfill on those clients, how to scale those systems and those processes in less than 4 weeks. It's called the virtual video producer system. There's a link around here in this video. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click on that. I invite you to join that. I look forward to seeing you inside, and I hope this was valuable for you.